I see trees that are green.
Reducing waste or conserving energy and water can be challenging, even overwhelming to some. It was this realization that prompted two local women to develop and present a class on being green.
It's not that easy being green, and it's not. It's hard because of all of our old habits and because we don't have a society, and certainly not our media, that supports us in a different lifestyle, because you got to buy more, you got to have more because you're not good enough. For me, it's not buying so much. For me, it's saying, do I really need this? Oh, I may want it, but do I need it? And can I do with what I already have? And can I start getting containers so I'm not getting so much plastic? Can I get refills? What can I give up? What can I give away? How can I buy locally?
We have so much, and we waste so much. And it's not out of malice. I just think when you have so much, you tend to take it for granted. Like anything, it's human nature. But yet it's become sort of an addiction. You know, habits that get out of control can become addictions, and I think we have an addiction to consumption.
The class encourages participants to brainstorm ideas and find solutions.
We all come from different places, different jobs. It's a real intergenerational group, which is interesting. Some people are retired, some people are in midlife going back to school. But we come with a common interest of wanting to live more lightly on the planet, wanting to reduce our ecological footprint. And again, I think when you're doing something in a group, you can support each other, you can challenge each other, you can dream up solutions together. What if we collectively and individually were able to really start redefining what we value, living differently, living more lightly, and encouraging our friends and colleagues to do the same.
This informal educational setting offered plenty of camaraderie and generated a flood of ideas.
Just great ideas, this energy of, the possibilities of projects, getting, I think, our condo communities to really look at how we can take this wasted space of grass and make it useful, whether it's native, so that we can save money on our fertilizers and our water, or if we can begin to have community gardens again. Wouldn't it be wonderful that we could be useful and also have healthy gardens? So I think for me that was one of the outstanding ideas, and I'd like to really get my community to think about all that grass that we keep watering and fertilizing, and let's do something useful with it.
Composting household and yard waste is an efficient way to reduce the amount of garbage sent to the landfill and provide a natural alternative to enrich Florida's sandy soil.
I try to get people to separate their materials. A compost bin like this, I use it mostly for horticultural waste, your leaves, your clippings, your grasses, and things like that. You need a good sunny, airy spot, because again, you want that sun to help cook it, and that whole decomposing, composting process heats up that pile to where seeds or other things in there that you would normally think would germinate would be killed off because of that hot heat.
But local regulations can prevent some communities from having an open compost.
There are some more contained compost bins that some of the more deed-restricted communities these days will allow, because it keeps it more contained and it looks a little nicer, supposedly. So, so you do have a lot of choices that you can do, but you can compost both those materials together if you wish.
Worms may not be exactly what you might have had in mind when you thought about reducing your waste, but little red bait worms can chew up your household scraps along with all that shredded junk mail.
One of the best ways to reduce your household waste is by collecting your fruit and vegetable scraps and feeding them to your worms, who then produce fertilizer for you to use in your garden. So what a win-win-win situation all the way around, and it's all free and it's all easy to do. Basically all I do is I have a separate bin that I collect all my fruit and vegetable scraps. So we try to keep oils, breads, meats, everything else out of here, just fruit and vegetable scraps. When this container gets fairly full, then I take it outside to our bin, and in this bin is just shredded newspaper. It's shredded newspaper, shredded junk mail that I shred and lightly moisten so that it's uniformly wet. And this whole bed is filled with paper. All I do then is I take these scraps just like you would normally do outside, and we would place these inside the bed and cover them back up with the newspaper. And that's what keeps the smell down in your home. Once it's covered, I let the worms go to work. Worms don't like a lot of light, so we keep it covered. We keep it out of the heat here in Florida. We keep it out of the rain because, again, we don't want it to get super moist. And they go to work doing their job, collecting and eating that food scraps, all that shredded paper. And what they produce for me then is compost.
Reducing the amount of packaging used for grocery purchases is another way to minimize overall waste output. Food and Thought is an organic food store and restaurant in Naples that takes pride in educating its customers about living green.
Here we like people to think anti-plastic, stay away from plastic in every step of the way. We put all of our bulk goods in paper that is very recyclable. We can compost this at our own farm and turn it back into good earth to grow my vegetables in. We do everything we can to keep the mindset, use paper or glass wherever you can in place of plastic. We don't sell any water in plastic. All of our water is in glass. All of our drinks are in glass, or some of the soft drinks are in aluminum.
In many stores, vegetables are packaged in both plastic and styrofoam.
Of course, you know, in the wintertime we grow all of our own vegetables, in which case we don't wrap our broccoli. These baby lettuces are in plastic. This is corn plastic, which we you know, look for that as opposed to petroleum-based. And that's a step in the right direction. Still not a good thing. I try to get people not even to eat this. Again, the lettuce in these little baby lettuces aren't nearly as nutritious as whole heads.
The restaurant at Food and Thought serves up organic food on real plates. And when it comes to takeout,
this is a hot-to-go paper product that is lined with corn instead of petroleum, which most people don't know. It's almost impossible to get this. Wherever you shop, try to get them to switch to that. The same thing with the plasticware. This is not only biodegradable, but compostable.
here patrons are exposed to a whole new dimension of the dining and shopping experience, often taking away both food and thought.
All those things that we just toss and don't have a care about, think about what we've been piling up as individuals from day one, and that we can't continue to do it. So I don't see how any of us can escape that responsibility and that commitment to making it our personal quest to see that we do the best we can.